News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks. That's the closing bell on Wall Street. Stocks had a good day, rising amid easing tensions in the Middle East. The Dow added 507 points, the S&P up 67. The Nasdaq also added 281 points, climbing 1.5%. It set its first closing record since February. Treasury yields are also lower. 2-year Treasury trading at 3.82%. The 10-year Treasury yield trading at 4.2%. Oil plunged for the second straight day, down more than 5% at about $65 a barrel. Airline stocks also higher today thanks to Israel and Iran's ceasefire. The truce reopening closed airspace around the Middle East. Shares of American Airlines up nearly 5%. And shares of FedEx down 1.5% in after-hours trading after adjusted earnings for its fiscal first quarter below analyst estimates. The forecast reflecting the company's current economic outlook and assumes no further negative developments in global trade. Multiple news sources now reporting that the U.S. military strikes last weekend in Iran did not destroy core components of Iran's nuclear program. That's citing early assessments by the Pentagon. We get the story from Bloomberg's Kaylee Lyons.
The leaking of this alleged assessment is a clear attempt to demean President Trump and discredit the brave fighter pilots who conducted a perfectly executed mission to obliterate Iran's nuclear program. Again, using that obliteration language, even though these assessments that the New York Times and CNN have now seen, which Bloomberg has not independently verified, would suggest that, in fact, it was not complete obliteration, that actually this only may be, frankly, a minor delay in the Islamic regime's nuclear program.
Bloomberg's Kaylee Lyons. Former U.S. ambassador to NATO, Kurt Volker, says he's skeptical of this report.
I think it's too early to be making any definitive judgments. These are some initial intelligence reports. I think they are still waiting for more information themselves.
Former U.S. ambassador to NATO, Kurt Volker, on Bloomberg TV. A ceasefire brokered in part by President Trump is seemingly holding between Israel and Iran right now. It's fragile, but Israel says it's shifting focus to Gaza again to get hostages back home as Iran works to resolve its issues with the U.S. The European Union says it's ready to retaliate with tariffs on U.S. imports if President Trump puts a baseline levy on the bloc's goods. The EU is rushing to clinch a deal with Washington before tariffs on nearly all imports jump to 50% on July 9th. But even when a deal is done, the U.S. is expected to keep some duties in place. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says House and Senate Republicans can cut a deal on the state and local tax deduction, otherwise known as SALT, soon, and resolve a key issue holding up President Trump's big, beautiful bill.
Both sides are working through, and we'll have a solution to that next 24, 48 hours.
He says the GOP's on track to pass the budget bill by July 4th. National Transportation Safety Board Chair Jennifer Homendy says the heroic acts of the crew aboard an Alaska Airlines flight last year ensured everyone survived when a door plug panel blew off the plane shortly after takeoff. But neglect and insufficient oversight caused it.
This accident never should have happened. An accident like this only happens when there are multiple system failures. The safety deficiencies that led to this accident should have been evident to Boeing and to the FAA.
NTSB Chair Jennifer Homendy in Washington there. She says the investigation into the incident found the bolts securing the door panel plug were removed and never replaced during a repair. The safety board's expected to approve several recommendations today to make sure that never happens again. And Sean Diddy Combs has confirmed he will not be testifying in his sex trafficking and racketeering trial. The question was posed by the judge today after the government rested its case, wrapping up a 6-week presentation of evidence, including dozens of witnesses. The defense doesn't plan to call any witnesses. Diddy is accused of using his power and influence to coerce and abuse women for decades. He's denied the claims, but could spend the rest of his life in prison if convicted. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks, and this is Bloomberg.